tickets to give away. A Bucks coming up. Aaron Boone coming up. Bill Simmons coming up. Let's see where we begin. Chris and Ron Cockama starts us off. We'll do a little NBA before we get the Buck. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good,
I was definitely calling about LeBron and how you thought he was fair against Houston and how, but that's a hypothetical. But I had to ask you.
Do I think he would have beaten Houston? If Paul was there, probably not. They probably would have too many players to guard. And they're a terrible defensive team. So I would say with Paul hurt, maybe they would have had a chance against Houston, and he was hurt. But they have no chance in this series, though.
Mike, can I ask you one question? And it has to do with the most fraudulent book cover of all time. You know where I'm going with that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Keith Hernandez's book.
Oh, I know. Listen, I don't want to talk. I come to me some other time with Keith's book because I just want to do the NBA Finals right now. I don't want to go on a tangent. I don't know where you're headed, but we'll do that some other time. It's about I don't know what the point was, but call me back about it some other time when I don't have so many things that are pressing. Steve in Chappaqua, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Mike. First of all, welcome back.
Thank you. What's up?
LeBron is frequently, criticized for getting out of a weak East. But the three teams he beat in the finals, the 73-win Golden State team, a Popovich-Duncan San Antonio team, and a Durant-Westbrook OKC team. Those are three great wins, and he doesn't seem to get credit. They talk about the weakness out of the East.
I think anyone who's worried about what he's done and how he's done it is just clueless. I mean, it's to a point now where there's nothing to discuss about what he's accomplished. I mean, this team he's on here, this isn't even this is a 20-win team if they're lucky without him on the team. I mean, I'm not even sure they'd win 20 games. Brett, Long Island, what's up, Brett?
Hey, welcome back, Mike.
Hey,
I don't think you can count out the Cavs, though, as quickly.
In this series? To win it?
Yeah, I'm saying you're just.
It would be a miracle It would be a miracle of the ages if they beat that team.
It's a miracle that they're there.
But they're not. But they're playing a much better team than any team they've played.
Rockets could have beat them. Rockets could have beat them. I mean, I know they're great, but I don't think they're invincible. They've been pretty inconsistent.
Well, let's say the Rockets were much better than anybody in the East, also.
Right, but Golden State wasn't even the best team to me. Like, I think they were inconsistent. And I think one thing you can agree with me finally is that now it's LeBron James, then Michael Jordan.
No, I don't agree with. Listen. I am as big a supporter of LeBron James as just about anybody I've ever heard. But I don't put him ahead of Michael Jordan. I have no reason to do that. I've never done that with either one of them. I've never treated one over the other. They're very different players playing in very different eras. I don't put one over the other. I really don't. I still don't. I mean, I know how good LeBron is. They're both immortal players. They're two of the greatest players of all time. There are certain players in this league you do not dispute their greatness. You do not dispute Bill Russell's greatness. You do not dispute Michael Jordan's greatness, LeBron James's greatness, Wilt Chamberlain's greatness. Those are not disputable, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's greatness. That is not disputable, those guys being great. Kevin in New Haven. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Mike. Welcome back.
Thank you. What's up?
I actually agree with everything you said about this finals. It shouldn't really be close. I know you did say
I'll
that.
be rooting for Cleveland like crazy, but I don't think they have a chance to win.
Oh, I am too. I completely agree. I'm rooting for LeBron James. I don't think they'll win. But as far as you saying that this might be the most lopsided in 17 years, just for argument's sake, I got a couple ones that I would
well, as far as the odds makers, it is the most lopsided one in 17 years. That's
okay. Let me get your opinion on this one though. As far as LeBron's first finals appearance against
very
that first
lopsided on the same level as this one. On the same level. We just know more about LeBron than we did then, but that one against the Spurs is the same level of being lopsided as this is.
And what about the Nets and 76ers against those 2000 Lakers?
Again, we've had lopsided finals. I'm not saying we haven't. We've had many lopsided finals, but this is about as bad as we've had because this team is vastly superior to the. This is a bad Cavs team. This is by far the weakest team they've taken to the finals. Now, it still has LeBron, but it's still the weakest team. I mean, it's had a miserable season. Plus, they don't have a lot of players that can play two ways. They can go one way and be offensive, or they can go a little better defensively and take away some of their offense, but they can't do both. And this team has so many scorers against a team that is so weak defensively, it causes enormous problems. How are you going to shut them all down? The only advantage they have right now, the only positive, is that Iguodala's not playing. And Iguodala's always been a thorn in LeBron's side and has always played very well in these games. As we all know, he was, the most valuable player one year and just had a sensational series. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. So we know what he can do. And they have 3 guys that want to play against LeBron straight up, that want to cause him trouble. Now, they all double team anyway, but my point is they have 3 guys that want to, Green wants to play against them, Iguodala wants to play against them, and Durant wants to play against them at times. And he gets worn down playing against all those guys. And who do you want him to guard? He's going to guard Durant? That's a lot of effort if he has to play Durant the whole time. How does he get the rest if he's got to go worrying about Durant the whole time? Brad in Belmore, what's up, Brad?
I agree with you. I think it's crazy to think that the Cavs have any...
If they win 2, I will be very impressed.
Me too. I mean, listen, they couldn't beat them with Kyrie on this team. They're not going to beat them now. And it's crazy to think there's any chance. But, I, like you, am also a big LeBron fan. I do think you do have to you do have to add to the conversation that he's very much responsible for a lot of the decisions.
Oh, absolutely. Now, listen, you want to get on him for being a bad general manager, go ahead. I have no problem with that. That's a fair criticism that he should have left that to other people. I have no problem with.
And I think that is the big blight on his resume, that he has forced their hand and forced them to put players around him.
But remember, from a team standpoint, this is a guy who, if you're an owner, you're ecstatic he's there. You have been to the finals 8 straight years and won 3 championships. I mean, who could want more than that?
Absolutely.
He's putting money in anybody. Look how many playoff games he's giving you every year. The man has won, 24 straight series in the East? The guy is putting incredible amounts of money into your pocket.
He has taken a meaningless franchise and made them more relevant than they will ever be.
I mean, think about that. They not only get sellouts every game, they get all these rounds of these 7-game series that they've had. They make a fortune.
Absolutely. But, with that, they've just made some terrible, terrible moves.
No, I can't. Brad, I wouldn't argue that for 1 second. You're absolutely true. You're absolutely right about that. Dead on. Oh, you're right about that. David in Belmore, what's up, David?
Hey, Mike. Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Just 2 things. First, I'm actually a Warriors fan. I lived out there for about a decade.
Okay.
Before this all happened.
Were you a Warrior fan before they got good or not since they got good?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
In fact, I reminisce about the time when...
they are the greatest turnaround that I can think of a franchise to become a legendary franchise. They all wanted to... Because this was a franchise that the NBA detested. I mean, absolutely detested, as you know, for a long time. Hated the franchise.
I just remember when they would draft guys like Todd Fuller. It's like, what is going on here? But
plus, there was a time when they didn't like their players to travel to the games there, as you know.
Yeah.
They didn't want anybody near there because they used to have problems when players went out there.
Yeah, I mean, Oakland. I mean,
yes.
A lot going on.
Yes.
But that said, I still struggle as a fan with the acquisition of Durant. And even as a fan, I know most of my friends have gotten over it. They're like, oh, we love him. He's great, whatever. I still can't get over that decision for him to go there.
It was stacking the deck. There's no question.
And LeBron opened that door, quite frankly, by going to Miami. So I still struggle as a fan watching them be this team. And my other point, I'd like to know if you agree about this. The whole thing with the numbers, like LeBron puts up crazy numbers, Westbrook puts up crazy numbers, Harden.
Right.
We compare them to other guys. But when you watch how they dribble, no one is guardable. And the only reason they can put up these numbers, you can't touch them. They travel on every play. They carry the ball. Guys of old, if Isaiah Thomas is allowed to dribble like these guys dribble, or Magic, or anyone, the numbers
well,
these guys
to be fair, that stuff started long before those guys were out of the league. If you want me to give you and there's been many things done on it. Bird walked all the time. I mean, these guys, they've gotten away with that. That's never been an issue for a very long time. Those guys have been able to do whatever they want on the floor for a very long time. Now, one difference, as you did note, you were allowed to play defense against these guys. Now you cannot touch the guy on the perimeter. There was a time when you could. Now you can't. You can beat on a guy down in the low box. You cannot beat on a guy on the perimeter. And that's what's changed, and it's made that in the three-point and what's going on with the three-point. The fact that you can't guard on the perimeter and the fact of the three-point has changed the game completely. So you can still go down in the box and beat on a guy, but you cannot go outside and touch him. That's the game they have now. So that has changed the game incredibly. Chris in Huntington, what's up, Chris?
Hey.
What's happening?
How's it going, Mike?
Good. What's going on?
I think the Cavs are going to win tonight. I think the Warriors have played an incredibly sloppy brand of basketball. Mm-hmm. I think games 6 and 7, they really had terrible first halves. And I feel like there's something special about this Cavaliers team. I know that J.R. Smith probably has to average 25 a game for them to actually win this series.
Stop. When you're going to come on the show and talk about J.R. Smith averaging 25 points, I have to stop.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Come on.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying.
Who has turned the ball over more than the Cavs? I mean, one thing in the playoffs, to be fair, and especially in the last series, how many times did LeBron James turn the ball over in the Boston series? He averaged like 6 turnovers a game. I mean, he was very sloppy, and I think a lot of it was him being tired and being harassed. The one thing the Celtics did do is they harassed him a lot. Different people, a lot of people jumping out at him, Smart swiping at him, Horford swiping at him. I mean, guys who were good at that. Now they got guys again who are good at that, and that's the one thing. LeBron's got to keep his turnovers down. In the Celtics series, they really got out of hand because he had the ball a lot, obviously. He also is tired at times. And Smart is a guy who, goes and steals the ball and makes plays like that a lot. He's in there. He's swiping at everything. So that was a big problem in that series was the LeBron turnovers level was very high. We'll come back with Buck Showalter, and then we'll get back to the NBA and everything else. Aaron Boone still to come later on. Bill Simmons. We'll do a lot of baseball, a lot of NBA today. Back after this.